Welcome back to Poolside Games. Might be realizing about how long this play offline. Sheesh. You know, you might be realizing that Little Big Planet 3 is, well, it's a complicated thing about the next episode of, well, you'll see what it is. But you know what, for the moment I'm going to do Minecraft, a game that everyone likes a lot. So, I'm gonna make a review about it, and I'll tell you what I think about this. And, I mean, it's okay. I like it. However, it's not my favorite. So, yeah, starting off, I started this map all the way up there. How weird would that be? And that's not typical for a map, now would it? So, yeah. First of all, some of the things well, I'm just gonna say things I guess just come in my head. Yeah, some things I don't like. First of all, this game is, well, odd, I guess. So, exploring's not usually a big thing for me. Now, the reason why I'm doing it in the video is because I don't really care where I'm going, so I'm just kind of starting off the game like this because I don't really care where I go. But either way, so yeah, this game is, well, very interesting. First of all, you kind of play as you play as a skin, whatever you want to be, really. You can create a skin. So the game kind of keeps asking me if I wanted to be in the network, which I said no. As you just saw. But anyway, so yeah, I don't usually like the exploration of this. Mostly though, let me tell you why I don't really like it. Because of the map. The map is not the best. Because the map can get really confusing. The map is the thing I don't really like. Now of course, it's the middle of the day here, about. Again, but anyways. The map though, you can start off with a map. I didn't really choose that. However, well, you don't have infinite maps. Now, I'm in a giant winter world. Well, phew, I thought that was a killer death bunny for a second, even though they aren't in this game. This version, at least. Ugh. Anyway, see some of these things. Yeah, like the map, again, can't use it's kind of hard. Hey, the compass still lets you go back to where you began. That's helpful. There's also the clock that tells you if it's nighttime if you're underground. That's another thing I don't like doing, underground. Because, well, it's hard to find, well, pretty much anything in there. Well, you could find stuff, but it's hard to get back. I'm just kind of going out in one direction, not really caring where I end up in. So yeah, this is a one-time video. I'm not getting any more re-recordings of this. So if my voice just sounds kind of, so this is an odd review. Yeah, it's because I'm more used to making walkthroughs instead of reviews. So, now there's water. The water is okay. It's wild water. You can drown. Again, I think it's okay. But yeah, the combat's okay. I feel like I die a lot in even easy mode. However, that might be just because I'm not that great at the game. Yeah. Of course, this is just from memory, but so. You might be able to watch it. Now, the thing I usually do is farm. the reason why I say that is because there's these sugar canes right here. So I get to use them. And you get to grow farms. So, yeah, the farms are interesting. Well, of course, you get to grow a farm. Which I actually like just fine. Believe it or not, I actually like it. So, yeah, I do like the farming. Also, the animal cages I like. Those are pretty good. I didn't even realize that would happen. Okay, so... yeah, as you can tell, you have a hunger bar. If the hunger goes out without you eating food, which I can't eat this, then, well, you lose. Well, you keep dying. Well, the coal I cannot mine because I don't have any pickaxes. Which, I mean, I'm just kind of exploring, so why don't I just... well... sheesh, anyway. Well, let's talk about that. Mining's interesting. The thing is, though, that yeah, after a while it can get kind of boring. Now, of course, I'm talking about survival. Survival, I'm not a big fan of because of the things. I mean, honestly, I actually kind of like it plenty. The more I think about it. There's some things, though. Yeah, sometimes it can just get boring. Yeah, I do have... yeah, this is a new game, completely. I literally got a trophy for getting wood. So... yeah, the achievements, though... yeah, they're... yeah, it's Minecraft, so it's... you know, I would call myself a completionist. I have never done everything in this game. Just saying that out loud, I have never done everything in this game. Of course, just because I get a whole bunch of trophies just for doing the simple stuff I already know what to do. Doesn't mean that, well, doesn't mean that I did everything. So, yeah, I kind of like the simple stuff, I guess, you could say. And, yeah, the combat's interesting again. Just bringing that back up. Even though, well, combat's, well, you do. Because I haven't even got to nighttime yet. Sheesh. Yeah, at least, well, I got something to eat. Yeah, I'm not the most well today. So though, why I'm not really working on it? No, the creeper. Why is the first enemy I fight in this game the worst one of them all? Anyway. So. Yeah. Minecraft is, it's fun. However, well, yeah, it could get a little hard. Especially when you find, well, what are these chickens even do? Well, I guess they're just normal chickens. But one of the other things I don't like, though, is that they give way too many updates. So I don't really care for the update because, well, they give so many updates. I'm just kind of like, oh, updates. I guess I'll never be able to do everything in this game anyway. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I don't. This. I'll just say that. It is kind of true. So anyway, so. I mean, either way, though, it's, yeah. As you can tell, I make better walkthroughs than reviews, but that's also though because I'm not exactly recording after I'm playing. So. Yeah. Still though, you can though create stuff. Okay. Not talking about the nighttime. Again, the combat is not my favorite thing. I get dead pretty easily. You'll probably see that pretty soon. As well, nighttime's getting near and enemies will start showing up as like just creepers. Yet. Of course you get stronger weapons. Just like any other normal games. Of course, this game, the main thing about this is that you can do whatever you want. And there's a lot of stuff you could do, I would say. So, yes, so you know, I do like it. It's just not my, well, yeah. There are sometimes better things in my opinion. However, it's benchmarking, it's, yeah. So, I'm just gonna try to find stuff. Oh, sorry. So this game has a bunch of stuff in here. And this one's, yeah. It's a pretty simple episode. But yes. Yeah. Here are these enemies. Skeletons and strays. Skeletons, they attack you from far, which makes them really difficult. Especially when you can't even fight them. Nice part is when they're inaccurate and they don't like to destroy you. Okay, you silly game. I'll die. Even if I die though, yeah, I'll just go right back to the beginning of the game. Right here, yeah, this is where I spawned. But yeah, the game can be fun. I like raising animals and doing that kind of stuff too. The caves are fun. What else do I liked? Or don't liked? What else about this game that I can think of? If there's PvP. And PvP is also pretty cool because, well, maybe not pretty cool. Well, yeah, you fight other players. That's the simplicity of it. So, in general, this game could be fun. For the... And there's also the village things. If you get emeralds, which are really hard to get because of how it works. Could you go quit that? So, yeah. The villager thing's pretty hard. Well, not pretty hard, but it's pretty weird as you can tell. This guy doesn't even give me anything. Great. Yeah, there's beds, of course. I'm not gonna steal a bed. Sleeping skips the night, which is nice. And there's way more stuff I can talk about this game when it comes to stuff. Yeah. Creative mode, though, is the thing that I really liked. And, well, I would say, though, there are better ones, but especially, though, when it comes to just, like, if you want to create, like, a level, don't do this one to make levels. If you want to make structures, though, play this game. This is a great game for making structures. Making great houses. You can, yeah, yes, you can make parkour stuff, but that's kind of not how this game works. Oh my gosh. For the zombie villagers, if you get golden apples and slow them down, you'll get back the regular villagers. Again, I'll probably just keep talking on and on, is because I don't really know what to talk about. This is, yeah, one video about an entire game. One review video. Now, trust me, I think, though, the more I do this, the more I'm going to be better at making these reviews. Especially, though, when I have all the time. Yeah. This one, though, I think is going to be the only one where it's like this. As in, this is the only type there I'm actually going to have, but... recording and talking at the same time. The other ones, though, I'll be a little more organized, and I'll come back to this game eventually. I think people really need a better... review than this thing. Though if you want to see opinions, you should see this... You might want to see this video, if you already played the game, of course. There's some things I like about it, some things I thought were pretty bad. Like the fact, though, that in previous versions, though, if you paused, the game would not pause. But I think I think there's a version, though, where they space it so that way the game pauses if you press the pause button single player. I do like multiplayer though, it's pretty fun. But let me tell you though, just one thing about this game that you should really know. There are a lot of YouTubers that make a lot of stuff about hacks. This game, in some ways, not as good as they give you. Make it seem like. I mean, it's fun when you play it. However, this game's very complicated. It's so complex. So many things about it that I have even dabbled with, like potions, and that I have played. I mean, in creative mode, I've done stuff like do some kind of fire, make like fires. Of course, if I was gonna make a review, it'd be a collection of games, because talking about one game is pretty short. And well, this game's huge. Yeah, you should probably give it a try. Some people, you might not like it, you might. It really does though, just depend. With every single video game, whether they have basically everything or not. We'll see though, because I don't know. There's some things you might want it to do, but that doesn't really give you. Cave exploring is not my fondest, because it's too mazy, for example. However, I like, well, farming. Now I'm just kind of going everywhere here. It's not really caring about what happens, because I actually truly don't. There's also like a lot of options you can choose, like experiment. However, that's pretty cool and all, but however, well, you could probably assume though that, well, I don't know. This game's big, as you can tell. You can basically go wherever you want. Now this is actually pretty cool though. It's actually, if this wasn't an ice world, I think it'd be cool though to spawn an island with a giant tower. Isn't that cool? There is also like some things they made that are actually really cool, like this. And well, and guys, however, now in the creative mode places though, you could actually make cool stuff. Of course, this set's actually pretty cool, like how other stuff is cool in Minecraft. You could make a entire series though, with hacks, and that's easier than like other things. Of course, I don't like doing that, but I'm just kind of going there because I don't really know what to talk about. Probably though, I should start ending the video. So, this game's fun. I think you should play it. There's a lot of stuff here. And well, there's way more things in here, and like way too many things more than what you have. But however, that's going to be the video. Wait. Sheesh. So, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, thank you for watching.